Senator Lindsey Graham, seen here realizing his manicurist gave him a satin finish instead of the glass-flecked finish he paid for. Senator Lindsey Graham this week voted no against same-sex weddings. Lindsey. Oh, the lengths some men will go just to find an excuse not to get married. The only knot Lindsey wants to tie is around his neck to heighten his orgasm. Voting against same-sex marriage, Lindsey, it's the oldest trick in the book. I love you, honey. I want to marry you, but it's illegal, which has also been said by Congressman Matt Gaetz to every underage girl he Venmo'd to Washington, D.C. Voting against same-sex marriage. Good work there, Lindsey. I hope you enjoy sleeping on the couch. But this new law, if it passes, and it looks like it will, it has been written to ensure that religious institutions that speak out against same-sex marriage can still maintain their much coveted tax-exempt status. And that's one way to, come up with a compromise. Religious organizations opposed to same-sex marriage can still speak out against same-sex marriage, and they won't lose their tax-exempt status. That's a good compromise. But I have a different compromise. What do you think about this? What if religious organizations opposed to same-sex marriage lose their tax-exempt status? Wait, hear me out. And so do religious organizations that support same-sex marriage. Isn't that a better compromise? We force religious organizations to render unto Caesar what is Caesar's? I think that's much smarter. Democrats in the House and Senate seem to be moving very quickly on codifying same-sex marriage into law after Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, seen here remembering the decades of pain caused by the Karematsu decision, Thomas, in a concurring opinion on overturning Roe v. Wade back in June, said in that opinion that the court should now take another look at overturning the Obergefell decision, which legalized same-sex marriage. So that's why they are passing this bill, because the Supreme Court is coming for same-sex marriage. So, a few things about this. If same-sex marriage is codified into law, it could happen today. Biden could sign this tonight, Saturday, Monday, or whenever Lady Gaga says she can make it to the White House for the ceremony. You need to take this good news. You do. You have to find good news where it is. And this is good news. Otherwise, you won't be able to get out of bed in the morning. This is going to be really great news. The Supreme Court ruled in favor of marriage equality in 2015, not even a decade ago. And at the time, there weren't too many Democrats who were willing to introduce it as legislation. When you look back to 2008, Hillary and Obama were running against each other for president. They supported civil unions for same-sex couples. They didn't believe in marriage equality. There was no way they were going to run on what was right, marriage equality. That was 2008. And there was no way same-sex marriage equality, was going to pass in the House or Senate when Obama or Trump was president. We needed the courts to give us marriage equality. That was the only way we were really going to get it, and they did it in 2015. Now, if this bill passes, warts and all, it will mark the first time, I think, Democrats delivered in the legislature on one of the big social issues they claim they're for. In the past, they relied on the Supreme Court to tackle the big social issues that they run on. Let's remember, the Democrats have always been for abortion, but they never codified it into law. It was the courts, not Congress, that gave us legal abortion. And it was the courts, like I just said, who legalized same-sex marriage, not Congress. But today, it looks like the Democrats are going to change that dynamic. Chuck Schumer, seen here about to begin a press conference, watching as his legislative aide tries to remove the prepared statement from his briefcase and instead accidentally stumbles across Chuck Schumer's dog-eared copy of Jugs magazine. Chuck Schumer, I thought, has handled this pretty good. He waited until after the midterms to get this law passed. He didn't want to force Republicans, 1/3 of whom were running for re-election, to take a tough vote before the election, right? So he must have struck a deal. I'm going to assume Schumer said to Republicans, I'll hold off on this vote that will embarrass you, maybe lose your re-election. And let's wait for a lame duck session if you'll then agree to vote in favor of same-sex marriage. And it looks like some Republicans, I think there are about 12, are keeping their end of the bargain. This is how laws are passed. It's smart politics. As for codifying abortion, I just don't think there are any Republican votes to be had during this lame duck session. I don't think there are.